Matty and Nick. Weekday afternoons 3 to 7 on WAAF. Podcasts are always online and on your schedule at WAAF.com.
I did want to address this thing that was in the news today. It's something I became aware of a few months ago, this flat earth theory. And of course, I laughed it off. But as you know, I'm a believer in all paranormal things.
Yes.
So I'm open to anything. I'm open to thinking something's ridiculous, but I'm also open to hearing the other argument. And when I started watching these flat earth videos, I was compelled, not because I suddenly believe that the earth is flat, but a lot of the people who believe in this have laid out a quite compelling case when you take your time and they actually answer question by question. Well, what about this? And they explain it. What about this? And these guys aren't all dumb. So I started to kind of go,
Yes, they are.
No. You know
Just
what?
because you
I've got proof.
understand science doesn't mean you're not dumb.
I've got proof. I have a hard-hitting, scientific-minded person who backs me on this flat earth possibility. You might know him from, he had a career in athletics, but none other than Shaquille O'Neal.
It's true.
What?
The earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is. I do not go up and down in a 360-degree angle and all that stuff about gravity. Have you looked outside of Atlanta lately and seen all these buildings? So you mean to tell me that China is under us?
Right.
I had no idea that China was under us this whole time.
Ronnie LeBlanc, this isn't quite
You're going to
paranormal.
look outside this window at Atlanta and you're going to tell me China is under us?
Have you ever seen any curvature of the earth, Nick? Have you ever flown to the Midwest like
no,
I have?
I get all of my science from Kazam. Shaq Fu.
Have you ever seen, you're in a plane, you're 30,000 feet, you can see as far as the eye can see. Have you ever seen the earth start to curve? It's always dead
But
flat.
that's because that's how big the earth is. No?
Wouldn't you eventually?
No.
You just gave it up right there. You can see as far as the eye can see. Yes, my eye can only see so far, and that's what it allows. Do you understand? Okay, the earth in circumference, I believe, is somewhere around 9,000 miles.
If you believe what NASA tells you.
Oh, boy.
Right. Oh, yeah. NASA was the first branch of the Illuminati that was launched.
Ronnie, any thoughts on this?
How could you?
You know, I was just on a cruise, right? And you could see out in the ocean, but you could see the ships as they're coming, like the mass kind of popping up. It's not just appearing. It seems to be coming up. So,
Wow.
I don't know. I can't do it.
Jay, you're on with Matty and Nick and paranormal expert Ronnie LeBlanc.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
Just fine. We're having a scientific discussion.
Nice. Yeah. I'm still questioning it, but the Earth being flat, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If a helicopter sits there and hovers for 3 hours,
right?
How is it possible that it lands back in the same exact spot?
Good question. Good question. How is it possible that if a helicopter is hovering and then comes right back down, how's it in the same spot if the Earth is round and rotating?
Wait, what?
Like a spinning ball.
My head just exploded.
Honest to God.
Wouldn't it land?
Okay, no. So a flat
place?
Earth just sits there in space, hovering.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
it's
my
kind of. It's
God.
like picture like a dome, a curved dome with an under. All right, Brian.
Oh my goodness.
Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. We have literally reached. We have literally reached. We have climbed to the peak, the summit of Mount St. Stupid here on this show.
Is it? I forgot. It's today's date, 1491. I forgot
There you go.
what date it was that we sailed across the ocean to the quote-unquote other side, and we have circumnavigated the entire globe, not cube or platter that you fall off if you hit the edge. I mean, where's the edge? What is this about? I don't understand.
The edge would be a what?
No, there
ice.
isn't an edge. Nope.
Nope.
Picture the old time. Picture the old time. Thanks for the call. Picture the old time maps.
I'm done trying to hear your logic, so I'm just going to hang up on you. You're making relative and salient points on the subject with facts and history and science on your side.
No, I just didn't like the noise. It was phone. Picture an above looking down, like the old maps were laid out down front of you, but a curved dome. And so if you were going from one continent to the other, we would have no perspective of going, quote unquote, around the globe. You'd just picture a boat looking down on a curved dome, and watching the boat go around from one continent to the other. Now, you might call that going around the globe, but it absolutely could be flat and still have that same sensation from going one continent to the other.
Have you ever heard of, I believe they call it the Coriolis effect? Where?
Yes.
Yeah? So what is that?
It's explained on this video.
Oh, if it's explained in a YouTube video, then it must be true. Must be totally true. It all makes complete sense. So the helicopter moves at the same speed the Earth does, but it's so large in space that while they all sort of move at the same time, anything under Earth's gravitational pull, then the helicopter would technically land in the same spot, even though we've all moved over the course of that time. But that's fine. That's totally cool. If that's what you and Jared Goff want to believe, you absolute himbos.
I got some audio from Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What does he know?
He knows Shaquille O'Neal.
I'd rather listen to Shaq.
The Earth looks flat because, one, you're not far enough away at your size. Two, your size isn't large enough relative to Earth to notice any curvature at all. It's a fundamental fact of calculus and non-Euclidean geometry. Small sections of large curved surfaces will always look flat to little creatures that crawl upon it.
Again, explained in this video. They address that. I'm just saying, open your mind. Like Quato said on Total Recall, it's a possibility. Open your mind. Until someone flies me up in a spaceship and shows me that the Earth is round, because all we have, that famous blue marble picture of Earth, by the way, is composite. It's put together from a bunch of other little pictures, because no one's gone up in a spaceship and looked at Earth and taken a picture of the round marble Earth. They've composited it of that image.
Now, if you want to tell me that the moon is flat, now that I'll totally buy, because we all know the moon is CGI'd.
Right.
The moon is fake, right?
Most definitely.
Unless, have any aliens come from the moon yet?
It's supposed to be a base up there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There was that one movie where like they came, the Transformers movie. The Transformers were living there. Now that I buy.
Like people say, I've flown around the world. They did not reach the end. But again, if you just picture looking down on a flat, curved dome, you could see that the plane could go from one continent to the other without going around it.
If you were in a plane, you
don't go.
You would go around the Earth.
No, if it is round, but if it was flat and a curved dome, you could just go from one continent to the other and have the sensation like, I went around the globe, but really just flying from one continent to the other. Look at that image. Look at this image here.
What happens to you in these hour-long drives to and from the station? What do you think about? What goes on? You literally just pine for the company of Richard Simmons and think about a flat Earth?
Oh
what the hell is wrong with you?
What is 978 says, Matty, you're proven correct. Dennis Rodman has now said that the Earth is round. Oh, sorry, my video's playing. All right, Ronnie LeBlanc, something we never got into.
617. Maybe the Earth is just a pancake and it gets flipped without us knowing. We're all part of the cosmic diner.
Mr. X. Mr. X. Mr. X, you're on with Matty and Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You have some proof?
Yeah. I can't say my name or what kind of plane I was in, but I was high enough to see the curvature of the Earth, and I saw the continents rotate around the curvature.
You saw the continents rotate around the curvature?
Yes.
All right, Mr. X. Thank you.
What is your last name? Pangea? What are you talking? What is it?
He was in a plane high enough to see the curvature of the Earth.
Okay.
What, the SR-71 Blackbird? What plane was he in?
Yeah, what plane was he in?
Maybe he was high.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Look, I'm not saying that the Earth is definitely flat. I'm just saying that some of these arguments on these videos are compelling. Has some points. Pro flat Earth. Gene, what have you got? Gene, the dancing machine.
Well, I mean, I've heard that. I watched some of the videos the other day because I think the Greg Hill Show talked about it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
One of the things the guy said basically earlier, a caller said something about how if a helicopter is up in the air and whatnot.
Right.
Doesn't that apply to Newton's theory, Newton's law, where everything in motion stays in motion? So if the Earth is spinning, then theoretically, wouldn't it just necessarily be moving with it?
The atmosphere spins with the Earth, so the helicopter moves with the Earth.
Yeah.
Look, Gene, I was told there'd be no math in this whole discussion.
Well, I know, but I mean, the other thing is the flat Earth theory says that the sun is only 34 miles across. We've even seen pictures of the sun.
Right. They say the sun is. They say the sun. Thanks for the call, Gene. They say the sun is a lot closer to the Earth than what NASA, etc., tells us, and that our whole belief about the solar system and everything is a lot different than what we've been told by NASA. Now that I haven't got into of the why. why this has been done to us, why the
to keep
Matrix
the
has
man
been created.
down.
Ray, well, maybe.
So the white man
Maybe.
can dominate the world.
It
His flat Earth.
also would explain NASA funding. You know what I mean? Because it's like if we're not sending anyone up, really, if it's really impossible to get up like we've been saying we've been getting up, then how else are you going to get millions and millions of dollars? You say, oh, yeah, we send people up. We're going to go to Mars next.
It's going to change, though, when Elon Musk is up there, right? Everyone's taking the space flights. And
that's true.
And when Elon Musk tells us that the sun is just like a day trip away, and that there's like 50 planets.
All right, let's do
all habitable.
The lines are lit up. The text line is lit up. Let's do a song, Stiz, and we'll be back with Ronnie LeBlanc. Ronnie, we'll get into real paranormal stuff. Sorry to bring you down the flat Earth road.
Good.
Had you heard anything about this?
I have, but I don't believe it.
Okay, so you don't believe in that.
Sorry. I guess you got caught in the middle here, Ronnie.
Ghosts, Bigfoots, and UFOs.